Alright, so back to this. There's several reasons why I wanted to split into several videos. I was really liking where it was going. I was going to get interrupted, but at the same time, that's the opening build order. That does not change. The only reason the opening build order will ever change is if you are being proxied and you must act accordingly. You just don't get the add-on. You make Marines instead of the Reaper. You can let the Reaper finish, but make Marines instead of the Reaper. Uh, and then you spend your gas on a factory, and you just make Marine Hellion, and you go up to Medevac, Marine Hellion, Medevac, and you just defend. Just defend the all-in. If he's one base, all you really need is, I mean, if he's cheesing you before he uses both of his gas, and not like if it's a Banshee opener, if it's like a proxy, like double Reaper proxy or Marauder proxy, just, Marine Hellion, Medevac, and then you go into the build. So scratch that. The previous part is almost perfect. Just ignore that. You just pretty much that's your build order. If you don't scout cheese, that's your build order, and it's never gonna change in any situation if you don't scout cheese. So here's where it deviates. Let's say we think Banshee. Well, the Banshee can be here any second. So the moment we see Banshee, okay, instead of the Raven, we make a Viking. And at the same time we make a Viking, we drop an engineering bay, we save all of our scans, and you can drop one, not more, one missile turret. If you're really, really terrified, you can drop two, but you don't want to spend 100 minerals on a missile turret, because your odds are you're going to have to spend a scan anyway at some point to kill it. And even if you don't, you just don't want to spend the 100 minerals. That's two SUVs, that's an extra Hellion, but you can. If you're really, really ill-confident, you just put one missile turret in each mineral line in the very middle. I like the very middle of the mineral line. I don't like it anywhere, to be honest. Um, Two at the most. Do not get three. I will freak out on you. Not really, but and then after the Viking, you still swap the add-ons. You still get on the tech lab. You make the Viking, then you make the Raven, and you're safe. You're safe against the Banshee. So that's how you defend the Banshee. You can stop one. Like, let's say this is okay. So I would get like 4 Hellions, 3 Marines, and that's enough to take on anything at the time when they have Banshee. They're gonna have like 8 Marines and maybe a Hellion. This is enough. You're gonna kill it. You don't have to worry about an attack. In fact, instead of these 2 Hellions, you can make 2 Hellions, then 2 Widowmines, place them at the front or something, and then go into more Hellions. Just place one at the front and then one way out there, so wherever they're gonna walk over it, and that's gonna force a scan. Maybe they get a hit and they take some damage and they get scared off. Whatever, you know. Overall, I like if they are not opening a Raven or a Banshee. I do like the Raven opener because it saves energy for the auto turret, the Hunter Seeker missile, and so on. Point defense strength. I really like the Raven. So this is where your build gets a little. This is where your build can possibly change. Now, once you've dealt with all that, all the potential harass, maybe he did like a Hellion drop. He's gonna Hellion drop. Just don't move out. Just stay home. If you're sure he's gonna Hellion drop. Otherwise, you want to be the aggressor. You want to be out on the map because you want to be kind of poking his front, because you don't want him to send like a drop out this way and surprise you over here, and you have all your units over here. So what you actually want is like you want some presence to know what is at his front, because if something is missing, you can even keep like one unit right here, and you just want to make sure you keep either the aggression on, or you want to know if he's going to do it. So if you're not going to attack, just keep a unit back here so you can see anything move out, and that way you don't have to have anything in your natural. It's more important you protect your buildings. So if you have a unit out front, you have all your units sitting near your production to be safe. Alright, so this is where the build goes. Just you make sure you have all 4 gas. You can drop the factories first if you want, but they have to be, if you don't have the 2 gas at the natural, the moment the factories are done, you have to get them. And, right off of that, you get an add-on on the barrack, you get a reactor on the starport, swap them over, and then what you're doing is you're making Siege Tank, Blue Flame, Hellions, and you're going to be making 2 Vikings at a time, and you're going to be making supply depots during this, preferably at your front. So this is your army right now. This is the mid game. This is what you're making. There's nothing else to do besides this. Once you have your production, you can throw down a third, preferably at the location, but you don't have to. It's just if you want to be super economical, that's where you want it. If you want to be super greedy, but you can put it like right here. But then it might cause a problem with drops, so maybe put it like right here. So this is your force. You kind of poke around the map with it. Once you have two Vikings, two siege tanks, a Raven, and a bunch of Hellions. See, here's the command center, as I mentioned. Now, if at any stage of the game he went for a third command center, guess what? You have complete map control. Because if he goes for a third command center, that's 400 minerals. That's four less Hellions, and odds are he's not as far in the tech as you, or as far as he doesn't have as large of an army and or as robust. He's got a siege tank. He's got some Hellbats. He's got one Viking, one Raven. He's got some Marines and Hellions over here. But you've got more power, more oomph. Like there's no way he can afford as much as you because you cut a lot of corners to be able to afford this. You're gonna get air control and you're gonna get ground control. See, you're already producing two tanks at a time. He's supply blocked, but that's irrelevant because the factory's not even done, and it won't be. You have to account for the map distance. So if it's like a larger map, okay, then maybe he's gonna be a little bit closer. But your point isn't to kill his army. If he has a third, you just deny it. You just make sure you get a tank within range with a third. You don't have to fight his army. Make sure you get a tank within the range of the third and deny it. Then he loses any advantage this orbital or this command center would have given him because he does not get the extra mineral patches. Maybe he gets a mule, but he does not get the extra mineral patches, and he does not get the gas geysers. And you're getting yours up. So the longer you can deny it, the farther ahead you will go. This sets him back. His army will be weaker. So that's kind of where that goes. Once you have this command center, you can throw down more factories, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But this is the mid game, and that's what you want. So what I'm talking about, like denying, and you can go for the throat. If you ever see the opportunity, go for the throat. Um, but you have to know for sure that it's the opportunity. You see, you can't just be afraid to attack because then you're never going to win. You got to know your limits on the build. Sometimes you just got to say, I don't think he can stop this. We're going to go. And you know what? Just practicing this push might cause you to lose 10 or 20 games, but the moment you can really start to recognize, I don't think he has that much stuff. You can just go in and do it, execute it every time and kill him. As long as he has this third, and as long as he has this third, you have more stuff. If you play it good, you will beat him. Otherwise, if you make a mistake, you will be behind. You will lose your army and you will be behind. Odds are you're going to trade at least even, but you will be behind, so you have to be careful. So we got everything rallied up over here. We got units rallied down below for the attack. We drop the point defense drones. The moment we come engage with his army, we have our siege tanks right here. So he's being defensive. If he's being defensive, like you can scan ahead. If he's over here, you can go over here and then just deny his natural. You can get like a siege tank right here, and then you deny his natural. What's he gonna do? Send his SCVs, and then you get a bunch of SCV kills, and that was worth it. So you can deny a base wherever his main units aren't. You just don't want to go walk up and break siege tank lines this early on. You really don't want to, unless it's very, very tiny. But like right here, he doesn't have enough. We've got blue flame. I think he has it too, actually. Yeah, he has blue flame, but our army's just a little bit stronger. And what we see here is we recognize, all right, I think we can break you. There's just one siege tank. So like if we look at our vision, we just see one tank, so we scan, double check, and then we say, okay, well, we just hit the tank on the high ground. If this tank was back here, I don't think I would have pushed in. I just saw the opportunity to go for the throw, and I'm like, okay, you lost your tanks. Now I'm gonna go in. But that's irrelevant. Okay, so that's just something for you. That's just something to think about. You don't worry about this. Just deny the third. Deny the third. If by the time you get to his base, he has a third base, you deny it. If he doesn't, you have to be really careful because then you're gonna be on even terms. Um, so back to the base, everything else is the same. All we're doing is making supply depots and units. That's pretty much it. Regardless of this attack, all we're doing right now is making supply depots and units. Now, once we get these gas geysers, so it's a little bit delayed, but you're gonna see it. Oh, I guess we don't see it actually in this game. But what happens is you morph this into an orbital command. You get the gas geysers right away. You drop down 2 factories and an armory, and there's your production. That's all you need on 3 bases. And then you use that aggression to kill them. Now you can stray from this depending on, if you see banshees, you gotta get Thors. at least one, so you can scan and kill the banshee. You can regain air control pretty much from this stage. Once you get the 5 factories in an army, it's all up to you. How are you going to micro? How are you going to position? You can eventually go up to 7 factories and really do lots of damaging pushes. The more factories you have, the more you're going to rely on Thors for anti-air. Or you can stay on the 5 factory and then try to contain him a little bit, get to 4 bases, and go up to 3-star port, make like Viking Raven Siege Tank Hellbat. The moment the armory is done, you want to make Hellbats instead of Hellions, but you can also start the transformation servos so that the moment that's done, you can make Hellions again to reinforce faster. So you can make Hellions and then you transform them on the battlefield. So it's kind of weird, You want Hellions until the armory comes out. Once the armory comes out, you want Hellbats, but once the transformation servos is done, you want Hellions because you can transform them. In the fight, you want the Hellbats. Until the fight, you want the Hellion. So, yeah, I hope that helps you guys. Um, it's just some basic tips. I think I'm going to work on this. So my idea is that you guys ask me questions down below, send me questions, and I will follow it up. Like, hey, I tried your build. How do I defend this? What do I do right here? And send me a replay, and I'll try to make like a whole list on how I'll just keep answering the questions in terms of back of videos. I'm just going to keep answering the questions in different videos, and I'm going to probably replace some of the section down below the guys. So it's going to be like I'm going to make a basic build order for each one, for each matchup, and then you guys say link me a replay, show me how you lost, and I'll show you how to hold it. Is not from your replay. I'll show you from my games, from an actual game. I'll show you, hey, I faced this. Odds are this opponent's was a lot stronger, but this is how I hold it. And I'll go into a lot of detail on how I hold it. So I wanted to give you guys the build order. I want to give you the basics. You go with the basics. You contact me in the comments. Yeah, I prefer the comments. Actually, let's go with this. I will not respond. I will not add it to the guide unless it's in the comments below. So if in the comment below I see a question, how would you hold X? You show me a replay of you, so I have a really good example. I will try to find you a way. I will the next time I come across a game, or if I know a game where I played this strategy against that, I will show you. This is my main Terran against Terran strategy, so odds are I've probably played against it. So yeah, let's go from there. And I'm gonna do this with every race, pending feedback. So based on how this video goes, this and the first one, I will continue to do. I really hate my voice. I love to help, which is why I give out lots of replays, which is why I stream so much. I put it on YouTube. It hurts my viewers, but it gives you a much better experience. It's so much more information for you guys, and I do want to help. So if it's appreciated, if these guides, these talking lessons are appreciated, I will definitely continue them, and I will keep going. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I hope that you use these basics as much as you can. Remember, deny the third, and if the third is denied, just get yours and defend. You don't have to, you don't have to. You don't have to stay here. The biggest reason why is because your production facilities are already up. The reason why your army is so much stronger is because they get their production facilities after the third, and you get yours before, and that leaves you a several-minute timing window. You only have a few minutes. You have to go right away. The moment the 2 siege tanks and 2 Vikings are done, you have to check if they have that third. So, thanks for watching, guys. Bye!